Hi everyone. Today we're going to go over the offline controller and do a quick test cut with it with the 3018 Pro, and hopefully this will get you up and running. There's one thing I want to note, that with the easel software there is a minor change that needs to be made in the code before you can use it. If you're using other software like Carbide Create or VCarve or Aspire, it seems to all just work fine. Fusion 360, don't have any problem with the code at all, just with easel. So basically, since most everybody's using easel, let's just go over the parts with easel, the quick change. And if you're not using easel, you can probably just skip the part where we edit it in Notepad. Otherwise, let's get started. So I'm going to power this off and just to make a note here. So you're going to get a controller like this, and you're going to get a cable. One end plugs into here, going towards the back, and then the other one is going to plug into the back of the board. So this is the 3018 board that you have, and it is going to be on the back of the machine here, and this end of the cable is going to plug right into the bottom. It's going to go right into that port right there, and it's going to plug right in, and that's it. It's that simple. And so one thing to note is you cannot have the USB cable and the offline controller plug in at the same time. That will possibly damage the board, so definitely do not do that. And on the assumption you have an offline controller, because you do not have a computer out into the area where your 3018 is. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this started up. I'm going to plug it into mine for real. And I'm going to go ahead and power it on. You should see it come up. It's initializing, and we're online. So instead of taking the memory card out, I recommend plugging it into the USB underneath, and this way you don't accidentally have it plugged into the machine or whatever. You'll see it turns into a USB symbol there, and you'll notice on my computer, I'm going to take note that it was drive E flashed up on my PC. And so with that being said, let's move forward with creating a quick design. Let me move this camera out of the way. I've created a simple square here for us to just do a quick test cut, go through some different things, and I've just made it 0.28 shallow, the depth, or 0.028. My bit is the 0.1 millimeter bit, which is just a small bit. And so what we're going to do is we're going to generate the code, and then we're going to need to edit the code. So the first thing we'll do is we'll generate it. Let's go to machine, and then we need to go to advanced. So basically, just review, most of this is pretty much default. Make sure your spindle control is on automatic, because we wanted to add in those commands for the offline controller. Then you're going to click generate G code. So it's going to do its thing, and then you're going to export the G code. So now that you've done that, it's going to download to your downloads folder. As you can see, I've already done this. Let's clear them all out. However you choose to get to your downloads folder, I personally like to go to Windows Explorer, come up on the left hand side, choose downloads, and sort them by date modified. These are the files. As you can see, I already did this. So like I said, if you're using easel, we need to make a change in the file. So here's our untitled.nc file, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to download the software Notepad++, or Notepad++. And basically it's a free software. You can see my URL on my screen. It's notepad-plus-plus.org. It's a home page. On the left hand side, we're going to click download. It's going to click the latest version. Go down to download. Don't be fooled by these other downloads and starts and all that. Let it finish downloading over here. Okay, now I'm going to open the file. Do you want to allow it to make changes to your device? Yes. English. Next. I agree. Most of this is pretty normal. Definitely want a shortcut on my desktop. Click install. And I'm going to go ahead and run it and click finish. Okay, now that we have this open, what we want to do is go up to File, and we're going to go to Open, and then we're going to navigate to the Downloads folder if it doesn't put you right there, and we're going to choose our file that we just exported from Easel, which is untitled.nz. And we're going to open it. And so I'll show you what's wrong. The first thing is go up to View and go to Show Symbol and then End of Line. And if you'll notice, this is, well, to keep all technical stuff out of it, this is the Unix version of the file. And for whatever reason, this offline controller does not like it. For whatever, it just simply does not like it. So if you'll notice down here, and let me move this camera out the way here for a second. Wrong thing. If you notice down here on the right, it says Unix, and that's what we need to change. So if you right click on that and go to Windows, you're going to notice it's going to add the carriage return and then LF, I mean line feed, I guess. And but you'll notice down here there is not one here at the M5. The M5 is what turns the machine off, the spindle off. So the M3 up top here turns it on, and M5 turns it off. So if you don't put your cursor there and hit enter, you'll notice it will add the carriage return and line feed. It will not leave it off. When your spindle returns back over, it'll just stay running. And we want it to leave it on. So the two changes that we made is, one, we had to change it to the Windows format, and we added a carriage return at the last line. That is pretty much all that really needs to be done. So with that being said, you can save the file. You can go up to File, Save, and now when you load it into the device, it should work just fine. So let's now navigate over to our Windows Explorer, and I am going to select it. We're going to copy, and then we're going to move down to my USB drive, and we're going to paste it. And this USB drive is the actual memory card that's inside this controller. So now that we have it there, let's go ahead and close it out. We can close Notepad out. We can actually close this out. We can close this, and we can move this back over here. And then so now I am going to change camera views.